Oh,
and now that you just told me no, I'm not, I'm leaning into it hard.
Well, I was trying to really sell you on the coffee shop.
Well, fine. Let's just get past this.
Okay, so a quote. Figuring out what you bring to the world and presenting it to those who can bring you value to give you an opportunity to collaborate is how you should the mindset you need when looking for a partnership. Okay, so for example, talk about Adam.
What?
We have an opportunity to collaborate because I'm doing a show and you have a product to advertise.
That I do. And that you do.
So we both bring value to this partnership.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
You're like the little bird who picks the meat out of my teeth. And I'm an alligator.
For some reason I just started thinking about a toothless bird.
They're all are toothless.
That's the joke.
I was gonna say what?
I was writing this reminds me of a story I was writing with a friend, Ethan. And it's called The Lonely Caveman.
I like it already.
And the premise of the story is it's like this group of cavemen in this cave, and there's no women. Like, women are just legends. Okay? And
sounds like my high school days.
So they refer to women as whole mates.
Okay.
So we're not gonna go too deep into that joke, but yeah.
Funny choice of words. No, there's whole mates. Like on the surface,
They live
like,
in the caves.
Your knee-jerk reaction to hearing whole mate is like, that's shallow and disgusting. But also, and as soon as you dive a little bit into, like, oh, that's
It's your
kind of
whole
like
mate.
their best attempt at being sweet.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause they're
you're my
cavemen.
mate, but you have a hole, so that's how I know that you're my whole mate. Like, this is part of what we're supposed to do,
Yeah.
and I love you, whole mate.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm gonna start calling Lauren my whole mate
So the story
with a W. Don't be disgusting.
Yeah, it is supposed to be with a W.
A whole mate.
I think that's the way I spell it. I'm not sure. If I didn't, I'll correct it. Anyways, the story takes place around this one caveman who is very scrawny and bald and not a very good hunter like all of the big, hairy, manly cavemen that he lives with. Okay? The big, hairy, manly cavemen go hunt, like, saber-toothed tigers and stuff and bring back for food, and they have clubs and they beat things with clubs. But this little guy, the main character here, his name is Geo, and he's a frog hunter, and so he just hunts frogs.
Frog.
Yeah. And none of the people in the cave really like him anymore. He used to be really famous because he could catch a plethora of frogs and feed them. But then one day, he brought back a large frog haul, and it was a new species. And he killed 90% of his tribe.
I thought you were going to say, like, they all tripped balls or something. It was the DMT toad.
Yeah. He killed 90% of his tribe, so now they hate him and they beat him up every day. And so one day he runs away. And the reason why I was thinking of a toothless bird is because he encounters a toothless bird in that story. It's an unfinished story, though. Ethan has yet to continue, because we usually go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to call him out right now. And he's going to tell me that he doesn't have time to do it. But
Ethan.
We had a pretty lengthy conversation the other day, and that could have been spent writing.
So you're blaming him for talking to you for
Yeah.
for a long time. It's like you just had that entire long conversation with him just to prove the point that he does in fact have time. Well, Ethan, it looks like we've been talking for an hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah. We are definitely talking for longer than that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so you definitely proved a point.
But also, we hadn't talked in probably like a year
Oh.
and a half.
Hope that beard hair hasn't been on my
Maybe 2.
2 years.
Not, I mean, we've spoken, but not physically spoken.
Right.
On the phone.
You've had contact, but
Yeah.
I gotcha.
There's something really intimate about hearing his voice and somebody else's voice as opposed to texting.
Yeah, I fucking hate it.
Do you?
I get irritated when people call me.
It's funny that you're on a podcast.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm talking to you in person. Like, I'm not talking to you on the phone. Like, this is okay, but I hate talking on the phone.
Well, he lives in Florida, so it's kind of like the only option.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Go to fucking Florida.
That's what he keeps telling me. I almost did for some holiday that nobody cares about, St. Patrick's Day.
Irish people care about St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, flight-wise, nobody's really flying on St. Patrick's Day.
They're all going to Scotland. Or Ireland.
Well, there must not be many planes going there because flights were really cheap for that week. But I ended up bailing. I don't remember why. Oh.
Yeah,
so
let them know now.
I told him. But it was because I just bought that car. And didn't have the fundage. Like, I could get the flight, but
Should have just drove your new car.
I didn't want to, like, spend the money down there because it's really expensive down there. Like, I was talking to him that night about how I went out with this lady and we went to Buffalo Wild Wings. And at the end of the night, it was like $120 bill and we only got 16 wings. The
Did
rest
you have a lot of drinks or something?
The rest was all drinks.
Yeah.
And
That was $8 a drink.
we decided that probably the same night, like the same encounter in Florida, that would be like a $300 night, getting the same amount of stuff. But yeah.
Did I just hear a demon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was really bored.
The demon?
Mm-hmm.
Explains why all the crucifix is just flipped upside down.
And the candles.
Yeah. For all of those who don't know, Andy's house outside of this filming zone is just full of crucifixes and candles. It's kind of creepy when I walk in, but you know, everyone has their own taste,
Yeah.
decor-wise.
What do they call the thing with the stars and the circles?
Pentagrams?
Yeah. There's pentagrams everywhere too.
And crucifixes?
Yeah. Right?
I don't know
Maybe.
how voodoo works. And satanic
Yeah,
rituals.
there's voodoo dolls.
No. It's very interesting.
There's
decor.
a lot of Adam's artwork.
Not enough, though.
Not enough.
You could definitely use more.
All right, let's is there anything else you'd like to say to the fine people?
Well, I would like to talk about my the metal print a little bit. I don't feel like we touched on it enough. I think we tried to, and then I veered off with dumb jokes like usual. But I don't know. You won't be able to tell because there's nothing here to compare it to, and especially even if you did put up a comparison, it's hard to tell on.
What are you comparing it to? Canvas?
Yes, canvas.
Well, let's just bring the canvas over.
Okay. I mean, it's not the same picture, and it's going to be hard to tell on camera, but the color difference is impressive. Like, the metal really brings out, like, the depth, or it adds a lot of depth. Like, the darks are much darker, and the colors, I don't know, just pop a lot more. It's just much richer. It's hard to explain without...
You gotta make sure you really get seductive with your description for those that are just listening and not watching.
It's so deep. Those rich colors just oozing out from the depth. I would go as far to say as my paintings are an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
I usually climax 3 to 8 times depending on the image I'm creating. Just the process is largely orgasming. But no, I read the description of the metal prints and they said that, all those things, the colors come out richer and, obviously there's like the obvious, like it's not going to rip because it's metal or scratch or fade as easy. But man, yeah, when I opened it up, like when I took it in to show Lauren, like she literally went like this. Like covered her mouth like she was in.
It's a really, really smooth, shiny finish.
Yeah. which proved difficult with the lighting. It is a bit more reflective, so keep that in mind if you're interested in metal print. And also, the only other issue, not my only other issue, but my biggest complaint is the hanging factor, because it's perfectly flat. I don't know if you guys can really tell from the footage, but because the canvases come wrapped on
A frame.
yeah, well, I'm trying to think of the size. It's like 0.75 inch wooden frame, so there's more than enough there to just hang it on a nail or two. And even they do come with a small metal nail hook, but these are just
I had to take those off.
Yeah, like I said, it's already got a recessed back. You can just hang it on whatever you want. But these are perfectly flat, so you'd either need a frame, or they do have the manufacturers that I go through. They do have mounting hardware, but it's like $12 extra.
Have you ever heard of like Displate?
Displate?
Yeah, I keep getting these Facebook ads for this company called Displate, and they do metal stuff, and they have like a thing that you, I'm assuming, like hammer into your wall, and it's like a giant magnet, and then you can just hang it that way.
Well, I mean, there's that option too. I didn't know of anything specific, but I figured there were like magnet mounting hooks. You can just like a small magnet with a hole in the middle. You can screw it to your wall and just snap shit down. I don't know that exists, but I'm assuming somewhere. So that's my only the little thing I warn people about before they because I'll pitch both, like if they're like, say they're contacting me personally and asking for something, I'll offer the metal prints as an option, and I'll tell them the colors come out a lot more vibrant, a lot more depth, and I don't know, just all the perks. But then I do make sure to mention just the only downside is the hanging. You either have to get a frame, or something we consider too is like what you use to hang mirrors in like the bathroom, just those little hooks that you rotate. I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, like
They're
something
clear?
like that. Yeah, they're clear, and like
come around the edge.
yeah, you could do something like that. I mean, it might be kind of annoying because you'll have to do instead of 1 or 2 holes, you have to do like 6. But I don't know, something I'm figuring out along the way. But I don't want to give up on it yet because, like, as you can see, there's a lot of potential.
Amazing picture quality.
Yeah, it looks really, really nice. And this is one of my spacescapes. Actually, the first spacescape that led to me doing other spacescapes.
So it was a series.
Kind of, yeah. It was an unintentional series because I sat down one day and I really didn't have anything specific in mind that I wanted to draw. I just kind of felt like doodling. I had some spare time. I'm like, I'll just lay down some lines. Because I think I did send you the process pictures of this one, where it was just a big blue rectangle, and then like a red circle, an orange circle, and a blue circle. No detail whatsoever, because that's why I like doing them. It's nice, kind of like stress-free, just kind of mixing and matching colors and blending stuff together. It's a way of creating, whereas before, it was a lot of specific things, aliens or the bumblebee or a shark,
Or the guy thinking on the island.
Yeah, well, like that's the second one I did after this one, the Spacescapes, the series, because it was just a lot of fun to do. I don't know, gave me some chance to practice with my blending of colors and stuff, making things look a little more realistic and not so cartoony. Originally, when I did start this one, I almost don't want to say what the original plan was because it's a lot more interesting than what I finalized.
This is Unabridged Waters.
So I will unabridge the shit out of this. You all deserve to know. So the perspective is, if there were people down here, these are tall trees. So if there were people down here, they'd be about the size of these little plants poking up. So what I want to do is put a bunch of, because it's clearly not Earth you're on, right? So I wanted to put a bunch of little alien people, like tribal alien looking folk.
Yeah.
Like, some just very, very civilized looking alien folk with, like maybe like a chick holding a baby, and like just people like pointing, looking up at the sky, and then having like a US spacecraft coming down, which that'd be kind of cool.
That would have been freaking awesome.
Yeah, but I got this far and I'm like, I kind of just like it like this, and that's a lot of extra work, and I'm pretty satisfied and done for the day.
Leave it open to interpretation.
But it's something I can still do in the future. Not necessarily with this one, because I don't like going back and changing already existing pictures.
Just start a whole U.S. invasion series where we're invading other planets.
Oh, well, it was just, the concept of what an alien is. if you're on an alien world and we come to visit. Yeah, we're the aliens. It doesn't really, I guess, need explaining, but
I was just thinking of us more of a conqueror species because I feel like.
Well, I mean, you can go that
would
route
be badass.
too. It's art. It's open for interpretation. Conqueror species.
What if can you get these metal prints with like a small hole in the top pre-made?
I didn't see it as an option, and I would say you could do it yourself, but I haven't been ballsy enough to try it myself.
Yeah.
Because it seems easy enough in theory, but then I'm afraid, like, once you start digging in, it's going to, like, maybe... If you don't have, like, a wood block or something to put down before you drill, like, it might dent or even, like, kind of do, like a mushroomy kind of bullet hole looking shredded.
You know, like, what is this?
It's... steel, I believe.
Because I'm just curious, like, if you started drilling into this, could the image start to peel?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to get one and just tear into it with a couple of different tools and see what happens.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I'm not really sure how they do it.
Yeah. Oh, interesting little tidbit about this one, though. Which I didn't even notice until I paid a lot of money to have these big ones blown up. Because, you know, just the nature of how I make them, they're all done on touch screen devices. So sometimes, you know, clicking in and out or changing tools or zooming in and out, you accidentally leave little brush strokes or little evidence.
Ooh, point them out.
So this one's got one right there, dead center in the sun.
The black thing?
There's a little black dot.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, but I'm gonna leave it. I like it because
it could be the U.S. spaceship.
Yeah, you don't know what it is. It's just a little black dot out in the sun. I mean, obviously, it's not like a black star or a hole in the radiation of the sun, but it could be a silhouette of a small ship out there. It could be. Lots of things.
So you gotta
use your imagination.
Adam's entire collection, and then you gotta find all the little Where's Waldos he's put in there.
Yeah, the little mistakes. Because it's nothing sucks more than like getting the print back and being like, it looks great, and then just there's a white line somewhere, like, you know, like a swoosh where there shouldn't be, where I didn't realize I had left a mark.
I feel like though, unless it's really bad, it's probably something that you would only notice.
I mean, maybe at first, but
like, I mean, I noticed this black spot, but I didn't just assume that it was a mistake. I just accepted it as part of the image.
Well, that's why I said I kind of like it, in this sense. Yeah, you could play with the idea, like it's open for artistic interpretation.
Yeah.
But my problem was when, the one of the guitar, the purpley background and guitar with the lights shooting through it and whatnot. Yeah. That one I have, and it's not too bad because I have, you know, spackles of white lines all over, but I have one stray that's kind of down here, and it's just a solid white line, just like a little short, maybe 1/8 of an inch. Well, I guess depending on the size of the print. But point is, on the metal one, on the canvas one, it doesn't register that bad, but on the metal ones, because the colors pop so much more, the contrast really makes it stand out, and it looks like a scratch. Like, it doesn't look like it's part of the picture. It looks like somebody dinged it with like a sharp edge, and yeah, like it looks like you took a little bit of the paint off. So that sucks. I mean, it's not terrible on the like I said, on the canvas, it for some reason it just doesn't seem to stand out as much. But on those metal ones, yeah, boy, does it catch the eye, and you're like, what the hell happened?
Do you think you'll just... Is the idea of having some pieces being canvas only or metal only a thought that's crossed your mind, or no?
Every day. God damn it. Yeah, I don't know. I in a way, I regret even dipping my toe in the metal side of things, just because now it's something, like I said, I should have just kept things simple. And then, like, the sizes too, like, people will come and be like, hey, I like this, but you know, can you make it smaller? Can you do it into this size? And it's like, yeah, I can. I would love to just have, no, these are the sizes I offer. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, why don't you do that? I was just gonna say, have set sizes.
Because situations change, scenarios change, and also sometimes you just, like, somebody wants to buy one, But well, because like for an example, I had someone ask for a smaller version of one of my panoramics, which I didn't. Before I made the panoramic, I went to the manufacturing website. I looked at what they had to offer for panoramics, and I found the 12 by 36. So then I designed my canvas size on my art app to be a 12 by 36, and that was I only made those. I only made them in that size. But somebody really liked them, and they were like, "Can you do one smaller?" So I'm like, "Let me see," because I had to go back to the website and see what else they offered. Because, like I said, like a small variation in size could mean a very big difference in cost.
Yeah.
So I found like one of the panoramics they had was for smaller was 8 by 12 or 8 by 24, which worked for the image, but it wasn't the exact ratio as the 12 by 36. The dimensions weren't quite the same. So, I even made sure to go in and sign them for them because I asked if they wanted them signed beforehand.
Yeah.
And they said, of course. So I signed them all for them. Because those dimensions were off, my signature was gobbled up by the edge. Like it didn't quite fit. So now I have that issue where I can't even just put a signature on each one, like standard, and then print that one because some of the sizes vary. And that's why I kind of wanted to also put across the fact that doing those smaller sizes makes way more sense for me in person. I have them on hand and I sell them directly to you. Whereas if I have to make them online, it's just, I don't want to sound shitty, but it's just not worth my time to do or effort to do.
I don't think that's shitty to say.
Well, I mean, just to say it's not worth my time, as someone who's starting out with something, it seems like turning your nose up at a sale, but
you're
just
launching, man. Time is fucking important.
And it's not like I don't have them to offer. You just got to get them from me in person. Come to a show.
Yeah. I think that's totally acceptable.
Yeah, so I would like to, I got too many different sizes and variations floating around, and there's a lot of pictures I made that were perfectly square that I'm now realizing are, like, I have more options for print sizes if instead of making them perfectly square, I just crop them to be rectangular and just trim a little bit of the fat off the edges, and some of them even look better that way.
Yeah.
But now I have them in 12 by 12 or 10 by 20 or just all these kind of varying sizes, and I've kind of made things complicated for myself, and I'm trying to really refine all that back down, which I think I finally got my Etsy squared away. Also, I finally got my first sale on Etsy.
I was just about to ask you about that.
My uncle. God bless his soul. My uncle bought 2 paintings off of Etsy.
What did he get?
He got, I don't even remember what I named these fucking things.
Just describe them.
The Wizard. Or,
I really like the Wizard.
A lot of people have bought that one. I think that's probably my highest selling one so far.
I think it'd be a really sweet bed set.
That would be cool. I can give you a blanket.
I want my blanket to have the Wizard on it.
That's one that I realized looks a lot cooler as a, the crab and the foot flower. The ones that I have for my personal collection on my wall, those long, skinny ones. That Wizard, which was originally created as a perfectly it was a 12 by 12 originally. It was a perfect square. What looks way fucking cooler as a long, skinny.
Really?
So I've been doing.
I kind of just imagine it'd be like that one's dimensions.
No, that's a 18 by 24.
Yeah.
This one I made him a 10 by 20 because I also realized he bought some that I never had sizes put down. I had the price for the size I had my head put down, but I never put down options for different sizes. So then that's why that came up, how I figured out that looks better as a 10 by 20 or a 15 by 30 or a 20 by 40. You get it. Half the width is half the length. That's the ratio. As long as you stick to that ratio, they work out. But because he bought that one and it didn't have a size for whatever reason, so I did it as a 10 by 20 because he had got 2 others as a 10 by 20, and he got the flying sharks, and the 10 by 20s are just a scaled down version of the 15 by 30s that are on my wall, obviously. 10 by 20s of the flying sharks, the crab, and the wizard or Zeus, as a lot of people who stopped by the booth kept calling it. So
I like that Wizard,
which is good because I don't know, I just God, Wizard,
that might
Zeus.
be my next one.
Yeah,
I don't know. I gotta look.
But yeah, so like definitely anybody who hasn't checked out my Etsy in a while, definitely hop on there because I got probably 4 or 5 new additions on there, and I finally got all my sizes and pricing squared away.
Sounds good.
Everything's a little bit more organized.
Adam Berg, offbeatartworks.etsy.com, Instagram, Offbeat Artworks, aberg9015 at yahoo.com.
That was a beautiful pitch. Thank you, Andy.
Well, Adam, I had a wonderful time with this episode.
I did too.
I look forward to the next one.
Me too. We gotta start dressing nice like this more often.
Yeah, it's official. We are going to be starting to dress nice for every episode.
Oh shit. Okay.
Or
I don't want to commit to that.
It's either dressing nice or it is what's that other thing that people do where they dress in a specific way?
Well, we shoot on Sundays.
A themed dress.
A themed. I just like it's our Sunday best.
Sunday best.
We're just not going to church.
This is our church.
And Mike V is our pastor. You're Gary V. Gary V is our
Mike V.
Mike V. No, Mike V. Mike V is the pastor who, like, chaperones the the summer camp.
Oh, okay.
And wants to hang out at your house and you do extracurriculars around the church.
So then, what are we?
The altar boys.
Fucking A. All right. With that said,
always the altar boy, never the priest.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.